Today on the Extreme Channel, we're going to talk to you about Warner Brothers Studios, the making of Harry Potter in London, where you can go behind the scenes, you can go on the original sets, you can learn everything about the Harry Potter series, and we're going to take you through step by step. But we're also going to warn you how they have some fine print that's not even written and they don't tell anybody that actually totally screwed us on our visit.
Give it to you. What? Wait for you to get it on your own.
Today on the Extreme Channel, we're going to talk about an extreme travel adventure to London where we toured the Warner Brothers Harry Potter studio. I think I said that right. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know and tell you how we got totally screwed. Now, when it comes to being a Harry Potter fan, my family of 5, I would say I'm a 6 out of 10, with 5 being average. You've seen a few Harry Potter collectibles on this channel before, including this Voldemort statue from Iron Studios that I used to own. And recently, I did this video of a real Harry Potter wand that shoots fireballs. Make sure to check that out. But we went to London for only 30 hours and we were completely booked. So with that, we had to get the best of London. And if you want to see what we did besides Harry Potter, make sure you've not only liked this video, but you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification because that video will be coming shortly. However, today we're just going to talk about the making of Harry Potter and the Warner Brothers studio attraction they have there. Because our time was so limited, we carefully calculated everything and we booked the self-guided tour. It's said that people usually take about 3 hours, so we booked the earliest time in the day we could at 9 a.m. and we had to leave at 10:30. We're very efficient, so we thought we could definitely get through in 90 minutes. But as you're going to find out, boy, were we wrong. I'm going to tell you some BS that happened. But first, I'm going to show you what the attraction and the tour is because there are some really cool parts. So the rest of this video is going to be everything you need to know and make sure they don't screw you like they screwed us. So as you'll see in my next video that highlights our whole trip to London, getting there, unless you have a car, is a little more difficult. You're supposed to take a train, and by the way, there's a Watford and a Watford Junction. They're different. And then they take you with a free bus or an Uber to be dropped off. But when you get there, it's pretty cool. This is the entrance in. They have these giant life-size, I guess they're not life-size. If you're a giant, they're life-size, wands of each character as you walk up. So we got there, as I said, promptly at a little before 9 a.m. because we 100% were limited on time. And that's even with us taking the wrong train station to Watford, not Watford Junction. Really important. So we had to grab it. So after waiting in line to show them our tickets, we went through a security line. So 2 lines already. Then we come into this lobby, which has some food options, has this huge dragon right in the middle, and we have to get ready for a 3rd line, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But let me show you the different package options they have. So you can buy through third party or you can buy directly through their website, which is what we did. Now, there's a lot of different things you can do just looking at the tickets here, and of course they have FAQs and plan your visit. And although that fine print I'm talking about doesn't exist anywhere on here, and again, you stay tuned for what that is. But you can do just a basic studio tour, which is around 56 pounds. And right now, the time I'm filming this, the conversion rate's about 1.2 pounds to the dollar, or no, reverse that. So, you can do a family, but family is only 4 and we had 5 people. So we ended up buying a family and then we bought an additional adult after that because our children are all old enough to be adults. You can do transfer packages from London because this is about a 40-50 minute drive from London. Or like I said, you can take the train. You can do meal plans that you actually add into it. You can buy souvenirs. They have a book. They have a little gift ticket, kind of to commemorate you were there. You can do breakfast, you can do tours, you can do afternoon tea. The deluxe tour from $250 per person, which includes beer. A lot of different options. Now you just clicked into the regular tickets because some other things you can buy, which are actually, I believe, the only way to get to them is add-ons. So let me just sample here. Just pick a random day. 10 a.m. is the earliest that day. Add to order. Because we did buy those useless add-ons. And when I say useless, I'm not being facetious. They really were useless. So I'm hoping it'll actually show me the options right here. Here we go. So the digital guide. So this is a small portable TV screen where you get headphones. We bought these. Now, as we were waiting in the long-ass line I'm about to tell you about, it showed us 2 videos. Then, once we got in, they forced you to watch those videos again. It was at that minute that we were completely done with the digital guides. I think there may be more to them, but it seemed completely useless. The nice thing is they are in different languages if English is not your first language. We also bought the digital photography and video package. Now, the problem with this is it was very unclear on how to use it, and because of the limited time we have, we really didn't know which direction to go. We didn't even have time to wait in line for the full-length video broomstick screen area, so this was a total waste of money for us. Again, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but we bought 5 of these and we bought 1 of these, but again, total waste of money. Wish it would have been a more clear, and maybe, honestly, shame on us in this particular situation for not diving into it deep, but you'll find out in a moment what I'm talking about. And then you can buy priority parking, but like I said, we took an Uber from the train station. So those are some of the different packages. Again, you can check it out. Just be warned about what I'm going to tell you a little bit later in the video. So we got in our third line for the tour to start. Yes, the third line, and this took us about 30 minutes. So we arrived on time, and keep in mind we only had 90 total minutes. By the time we got through this line right here, which there were a few things to look at and take pictures of while we were going through that line, we had burned 40 minutes of our visit, actually about 45 minutes. They also had those 2 videos they forced us to watch, which you couldn't take pictures or video of them, that we'd already watched in line. So really annoying because we wanted to get started for the self-paced tour. So people in front of us were slowing us down even more. We just wanted to get started. Well, after that video, we entered these doors right here and we walked into the Great Hall. It was a recreation of the Great Hall, and I think this was absolutely amazing. Now, one of the things you're going to find is throughout the different set recreations, they had stand-in bodies where the characters normally were. You can see some right here. So I thought that was kind of cool, but kind of weird. I didn't like it much, but I understand why they did it. So this was your first impression, and it kind of made up for the fact that we'd been waiting in line even though we had a reserved time, but now we knew we absolutely had to book it. We knew, think of that 90s logo, we had to get through incredibly fast. So we were probably only about 5% in the way of the self-guided tour, yet half of our time was already gone, so we started moving very quickly. Now, after the Great Hall, there was only one direction you could go, but then it kind of spawned off into a circular pattern, and there was really no rhyme or reason on what you could look at next. Some of them were set recreations, some of them were behind-the-scenes facts, some of them were interactive demos, and some of them were models of the actual show. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, they did separate it. You'll see in a little bit, this is the first half of the tour, then there's a second half, which is where our problem started. So I didn't like how none of this was sequential. It was kind of all over the place. They did have guides everywhere that could answer any questions, and they highly encourage you to talk to them. But again, we were limited on time, so we kind of just went through, absorbed what we could, took some pictures. It was pretty busy, which kind of shocked me because they reserved time, so you would think there wouldn't be very many people. And you're probably recognizing a lot of the scenes here. Here is Harry and Ron's bedroom. And then among the different sets, if you will, they would have some of the props like this, the Iron Guard, I'm not sure the name of him. Here is, I can't remember, I remember what this guy looks like, his office. Again, I'm a Harry Potter fan, but I don't know the trivia of the name of the mother's cousin's dogs. There's Dumbledore's office. And again, that kind of threw me off, especially since we were in the hurry. Now, we planned an hour and a half here. They said some people spend 4 or 5 hours. Now, part of that is because they do switch things up. You got to think about it. There's the common room with the 3 main characters. They want return customers. So because of that, they add special events different times of the year. They try stuff out. This is one of them. It's a show they did every 15 minutes.
The Death Eater's costumes seen here were designed by Journey Timmy and crafted by our talented costume team. These costumes gave the Death Eaters their fearsome feel and reputation, which carried right through from their first appearance to their last.
So another thing we didn't take advantage of was a green screen where you could actually fly the broom. I didn't realize till I was editing this that this was part of the photo package we bought. We just assumed it was an extra cost, and of course we were really strapped on time. So there were a few more things in this first half, if you will. Again, most of it was sets and props from the original movies, which I thought was fantastic. It was a great recreation. The only thing, as I said, I disliked is that there's no sequence to it or rhyme or reason. So I wish they would have put that in. But it was cool to see this recreation, and I wish we would have gotten some more photos. But again, for the 5th time, we were really rushed. And you're going to make sure you stay tuned because we have another video coming out after this of all the other stuff we did in London, which is pretty amazing. One of the things I noticed, some of the recreation of the sets was better than others. Like obviously that Great Hall was one of the best part. You're going to see platform 9 3/4 in a second. Some were just the exterior of buildings. We saw Hagrid's hut. We couldn't go inside of it. They recreated the forest. I can't remember the name of the forest, but I thought this was really cool. There was fog, and it was kind of a loop throughout. It was scary. In full disclosure, I've never read the books. I've just seen the movies, and I quite enjoy the movies, but I'm sure someone who's a Harry Potter diehard fan would have enjoyed this even more, although it was quite enjoyable. So the platform 9 3/4 really reminded me of Universal Studios, but they did the entire thing. Now this was the halfway point of the tour, and of course they're trying to make money on top of everything else they've already sold you. So at the halfway point, they have a giant cafe. And this cafe had every food you can imagine. Now, we weren't hungry at the time. By the way, they also had food at the beginning of the tour. So we just briefly looked at it. And again, we were kind of on a time crunch. So we were trying to get through to the next section. Now, after the cafe, there's this huge outdoor area. And this was equally as cool. Again, some of the models were built not to scale, but you could kind of see the exterior that they used during the filming. And some of them were actually built to scale, which I thought was really cool. You know, one of the things I'm going to talk about in my next video about London, it's neat how my first exposure to London was really through the Harry Potter movies and other film. And then you see it and it's pretty damn close. Of course, they don't have, you know, magical buses or anything of that nature. But this was neat to see on the exterior, but we were running dangerously close on time. We only had about 15 minutes left and we had to get through the second half. This is the mandrakes. I think that's what they were called, the greenhouse where they actually grew the mandrakes. And this you could actually go inside, and it was cool because some of them were alive and moving. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. One of the other reasons we went inside is it is cold and cloudy in England in October. So a little bit of a temperature shock there. But yeah, just on the outside, some places you could hang out. And purposefully, I don't know why they did this, but this is where we ran into our huge problem that kind of spoiled the entire experience. And honestly, while we're not complaining to anybody other than on this video, we think we should get our money back. So let me go into a little bit of detail on what that was and why I'm not showing you the second half of the tour that started right here. All right, so we did the first half of the tour. We're ready to go into the second half, and there's someone guarding the gate. And we walked up, and she says, "I'm sorry, this doesn't open till later in the day." And so then I asked, well, this is a self-guided tour. You guys opened at 9 a.m. We have to leave in 15 minutes. So what do we do? And she goes, "You have to wait until this opens." I was like, why is this opening later in the day? There was nothing on your website about that. And her response is, sometimes we do this. Now, part of me makes me feel they do this specifically so you don't go through the tour and you hang out at that cafe and you buy stuff. Could have been staffing issues, who knows? I then asked why this isn't on your website because we have to leave and we won't be able to see the second half. And she told us we couldn't leave. We have to see the second half. So we turned around and we couldn't come back from the area we came in because of the way that the tour works. So finally we found somebody and we explained, listen, we have to leave in 10 minutes and we can't get out of here. It was like literally we were being held hostage. So she told us the same thing. Well, if you leave now, you won't see the second half of the tour because it's not open yet.
Duh.
And I told her, I realize that, but we have a prior obligation. And when we booked this online, it was very clear it's a self-guided tour and it opens at 9 a.m. So after a little back and forth, where she was a little forceful, we had to see the second half of the tour, and I was a little forceful, they were kind of holding us hostage, she called for extraction. Almost made me feel like I was in some type of movie that wasn't Harry Potter. They had to have somebody come get us and take us through the back employee areas to actually get out of the exhibit. And the individual that was taking us out was very forceful too. You have to see the second half. And I informed him we want to see the second half, but you guys won't let us in because it's closed. And we can't wait around for it to open. And I expressed my dismay that they should put this on their website. So anyway, that was it. We didn't even get to see the second half of the tour. So very upset with this attraction. Because of that, it left a horrible taste in our mouth. Like we wasted our money. Because we realistically could have seen everything in 90 minutes and been totally satisfied. So if they had been transparent about this imaginary rule that's not on their website, that they didn't tell us when we got in, that the second half of the exhibit doesn't open up for a couple hours, we could have planned accordingly. So if you're gonna go, definitely plan 3 to 4 hours because they won't let you out. And I bet you the second half was pretty cool. So because of that, we won't ever go back because we feel like we were ripped off. But what we saw was cool, and the rest of the London trip and Paris, which you're gonna see videos on both in a few weeks, make sure to stay tuned for that, were amazing in itself. So we didn't let this spoil our trip. But hopefully this gives you some insight and gives you a large landmine to avoid if you're planning on going there. And if you're new to the channel, there are tons of extreme collectibles and pop culture, and of course extreme travel videos, so please make sure you've subscribed to the channel and throw a comment below because we give away some pretty cool prizes. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Yes, we're still giving away $1,000 statues at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. You have to make sure you're subbed to the channel, you like the video, and then leave a comment. We're going to pick a random comment on a random video and give away those statues. In the meantime, check out some of these other videos and my social media. Talk to you soon. Take care.